Today we're spending the day at the Black Country Museum. We're here, we've got Winston Churchill's train. Let's go inside and let's see how they used to live in the Black Country many years ago. Right, so prices. 2 adults for the whole day, and apparently it takes about 2.5 hours to get around, maybe longer if you want excursions. Costs £51.90, but wait there, because that gives you access to the Black Country Museum for a whole year. So you can actually pay £51.90, come as many times as you want for the whole of the 12 months. Now that's good value. Right, so what we got? Cafe, museum, changing places facility, museum, vehicle shed, drift mine, racecourse colliery, toll house, tilted cottage, pits cottage, folks park, playground, cast iron hat. Is just, the list is on, it's just endless. There are 81 attractions altogether. That's a lot of stuff to get through. So that's the colliery, look. That's what we could smell probably. Oh, that's the mine entrance. So should we do this first and then we'll go over to the mine entrance? You can smell it, that's what I can smell. It's the coal, isn't it? So this is the working replica of the world's first steam engine. Built in 1712 by Thomas Newcomb. So the world's first steam engine. Well, that's interesting. The fire mouth under the boiler. Look how they spelt boiler. Look at the English on here. Boiler spelled B-O-Y-L-E-R. Boiler. With a lid spelled L-I-D. Or door. The boiler, 5'6" diameter, 6'1" high. It's quite hard to read medieval English because you stop, because you're not used to it, are we? Are you allowed down here? It doesn't say you can't get down, does it? What? Yes, yeah, I could rent that. I've got white trainers on. I hadn't thought about this, have I? So I'm going to go over to the mines. I've got white trainers on, look. Not just white, very white. So you can literally smell all of the coal. Almost takes you back in time, just with the smell. That's the old mine shaft, look. So this actually used to be the old mine then. Obviously can't reconstruct a mine, can they? What's that? That'd make a nice Airbnb, wouldn't it? My new Airbnb, I reckon we could do that, George. Just with a little bit of paint. I've literally no idea what it is. It doesn't say. Right, are we going to go up and have a look in here? There doesn't seem to be anybody about. So is this the real old mine shaft? Is it actually, was it here? I mean, it says keep out open mine shaft. Those drums are there as well, aren't they? It'll be interesting to see what they're for then. So it's real, this is an old mine shaft. Scares the life out of me, that does. Can you imagine? Oh my God, how far down is that? It gives me butterflies just looking at it from this angle. Like the old workshops. Yeah, so, I mean, as far as I'm aware, I say they rebuilt all of the buildings here, brick by brick. I don't know if they've rebuilt all of them, but certainly a lot of them. There's an old pub when we get into the square that has been literally rebuilt brick by brick, so saving a little bit of heritage from the Black Country. Weybridge, so this is the Weybridge. Stood on Rolfe Street in Smethwick. In Birmingham Canal Navigation's Wharf Yard. Look at that pram! My God, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Hey folks, if you like this kind of stuff, put a comment in. If you've got this far, I'm going to be doing a load more exploring like this. Not old buildings that you're not allowed to go in, buildings that you are allowed to go in. If you like it, leave a comment. Is this like an old Black Country house? Look at the house, look how it's tilted. See, it's listing over. Like that. Oh, yeah. Hello.
Come on in.
Yeah, if I take some photos.
You can.
So this is a typical Black Country house.
So this one originally was built to be a toll house.
Okay.
So in its original location, are you local to the area?
Well, from Worcester.
So it was just in Dudley.
Right, yeah.
So it's about half a mile away. And where it was originally, the road out the front was a turnpike road, so you had to pay because the Earl of Dudley owned it.
Okay.
So it was built with the windows at the side, so you could be sat doing your stuff in your house.
And then take the money.
Take the money.
So have a look in here.
Yeah, of course you can.
So this is the bedroom. Oh,
So
wow.
it's got 2 bedrooms.
Look at this.
Because it was out in the countryside rather than the village, they built out rather than up.
I mean, you just can't imagine. And it would have been cold as well, wouldn't it? You've got gas fire, you've got coal fires. What have we got through here then?
And then that's the other bedroom there. So they've got quite a lot of space considering.
Yeah, the bedrooms are quite big, aren't they? They're good sized bedrooms. That's a double. Imagine sleeping on that. I don't imagine it's very comfortable. Probably horse hair, isn't it? That's fascinating. Thank you very much for showing us around.
It's all right.
Isn't that interesting? So the lady that used to own it actually came back because it was rebuilt here, and she didn't understand that the view was different, but it was her house inside. That's phenomenal. Oh, quite confusing for the lady as well. But wow, amazing. Wow. What a proper trip into the past.
That's amazing.
I mean, it's like a bare brick building. It's just basically stone. So I can see a bedroom in the back. See the bedroom? But yeah, it's a bedroom in the back. So you've literally got a single story, a bedroom, a living room, and what appears to be a kitchen type, not outbuilding, but my white trainers are not going to be white after this. And they've got a little garden. I don't imagine that they had much of a damp course. Now you've got old toilets, haven't you, outside? So I'm bargaining on one of these buildings as being a toilet. What's the betting that's going to be a toilet? It has to be, doesn't it? Oh my God. Would you? Seriously. It is literally a bucket. It's a bucket. It's not a toilet. It doesn't even have any flush. It's a bucket in the ground. That is how people used to poo, with an old lantern. Look, see the old lantern? Now this house looks like it's about to fall down. So this is the first double-storey house that we've seen. So they obviously must have been earning a bit more money. This must have been the supervisor, the charge hand of the colliery. So this is the washroom. Look at that. That's a mangle. Have you heard of a mangle before, George? So your wet clothes would come out of a tub that they would literally just push up and down, and you'd pass them through the mangle to dry them or to get rid of the water, the excess water, yeah. And look at that as an old fireplace / cooker. Now we've got a Christmas turkey going on here. So this is the tilted cottage. Hello. Hiya, you alright?
You're all right there.
First question is, are you right if I record a little bit of this? Just for,
Yeah, I'm
is
just on my way.
is that okay?
Should be fine with
You
it.
carry on.
Awesome, for my social media. I think it's absolutely fascinating. So this building, was it rebuilt here?
Yes,
Was
so
this-
it was taken down from its original location, so this is an original build.
And was it listing before and has it been rebuilt like that?
The reason for the tilt is because when the museum first acquired it, obviously our research team goes across and they have to do their thing. They was there going, no, I like the tilt. But when they went in, because the outside of the house apparently was dishevelled, it was a bit broken down, so obviously it was neglected. But when I tell you about Russia, you'll understand why it was. I'll tell you about her in a moment. They loved the quirkiness and the tilt so much, they wanted to keep it. So any blueprints they could get, obviously it's straight. So they had to do their own measurements. So it was so cleverly done.
So good.
So you can imagine these builders with tape measures, pencils and everything else and doing their own blueprints for the building, how it is. So how you come in as a visitor is how it was found.
And how long would it take to reconstruct something
Now,
like this?
that's an interesting question because usually on average it's 2 to 3 years. This one was 5.
Took 5
The
years.
reason being they had to keep knocking down upstairs because it was too straight.
Really?
So they had to keep knocking it back down to get that tilt back into it.
And because it's on sort of a private area and it's for the museum,
Yeah.
do they still have to abide to any regulations or sort of...
Building, I mean, this one we were lucky enough to, as it was, but any buildings that come now have to go to the 2023, 24
the
regs.
building regs?
So in other words, when you go to the cast iron, you may notice modern plugs and
Right.
light switches because we had to get it passed.
Yeah.
Where with this one, because it was more late 80s, those regs were quite there.
Okay,
So we got
right.
away with it. But any future projects,
Right,
so we're going to have to hide them if we can.
right.
You might see a fire door in the new building. Go, why is there a fire door?
And maybe some smoke alarms and, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we have them in this one, but luckily we've been able to hide them.
Yeah.
But in some of the buildings, we just can't.
It's fascinating. So the people that Would this have been a free house to go with the employment, or would they have owned it?
We do know the brothers did own it eventually, but when they first came in, they were renting because they moved up in position.
Yeah. Because it's quite a big house, isn't it?
For the time.
Yeah.
So this one's a mine manager's house.
Right.
So it was built 1846.
So the one over the road would have been someone at the lower level?
Well, you've heard of squatters' rights,
Yes.
right? So squatters' rights. So that's what we call Pitscot, and it still exists today, believe it or not. If you can build a fire with a chimney and build a wall around it within 24 hours, you can claim squatters' rights.
Oh, wow. And that's what they did?
So that's exactly what that family did. So if you do pop your head in, you'll notice that what I've just said, the chimney is slap bang in the middle of the house. You'll see their parlour, the bedroom and a kitchen, but that chimney is all the way around. So
That's amazing.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
But they lived there happily for years and they kept extending it apparently.
Making it bigger.
So it's a makeshift house.
Interesting. Really interesting.
Hello.
Thank you so much.
You from here?
And just say, are you okay for me to put this on my Facebook page?
Yeah.
Yeah.
they are,
Thank you.
So what?
They got squatters' rights for that building over there. So back then, apparently, if you were able to put a working fire and a wall up within 24 hours, you got to live there for free. And that's exactly what they did over there. That's amazing. It's the old card. Yeah. Look at his little sarnies, look. Oh, that's hilarious. So this is the old smelter then, is it? I'm guessing it's a smelter. Pizza oven for the back garden. Right then, what's next? And I think we're heading towards the centre. So they've got the stickers on the wall. So we're during wartime then. So people used to put stickers on the windows to prevent the glass from smashing and imploding inside the house. You okay if I record this?
Of course you can.
Is that, so the house is made out of cast iron.
Yeah.
So what's the reasoning behind that then? Just because it's
Because
easy?
we had a lot of cast iron in the area, right, they thought, keep the businesses going as well. Let's make them from that. But it cost £1,000 to build these two together, compared to £475 from brick. So they made two lots, realised it wasn't cost effective, went back to making them from brick. But then in the 80s, the buildings got condemned anyway because the cladding between the cast iron and the wall was made from asbestos.
Asbestos, of course it was. Yeah. The wonder material of the year.
Now asbestos is fine until you start messing with it.
It's the fibres, isn't it?
Once you start messing with it, no.
So in terms of the insulation, and that was just the asbestos inside, how well insulated was it? I mean, did it work?
Not brilliant. In the winter, the building was cold. In the summer, the building was hot.
Like a greenhouse? Yeah.
But this is 1940, this side, 1968, the next side. 1968, because that is the last year they ever mined coal in the Black Country. So when they finished forging the head, they thought, let's finish it in 1968 to commemorate Baggeridge.
Wow.
So,
it's fascinating. So how long would it take them to construct a cast iron house?
Not long. It's like, sometimes you go on your holiday and when you come back, they put a new McDonald's up.
Yeah.
Exactly the same.
Really?
Right? They just bits. When you go into my side, not so much in Chrissy's side on this side, it's just like all sheer. But when you'll see the workings in that side with all the bolts and everything, you take a, film that and everything, right? And you see how easy it is just coming. Now, when they actually took this down, because this used to be at the top, when they actually brought it down, they tried to put it back together, but it wilted a bit, so they had to get it all sorted out before they could put it back together again.
Right. It's amazing, absolutely amazing.
Yeah. You put in storage for about 2 or 3
So
years.
these were built as temporary housing during the war?
Yeah.
During the Second World War?
No. Just after the First World War.
Just after the First World War?
For the Home for Heroes.
Right.
So
okay.
they actually built some new homes.
Right.
But they thought, let's use it, because we got lots of cast iron in the Black Country, and we got lots of companies who made it, so let's do that. But it cost too much money, so it's cheap to go and make them from brick again.
Let's have a look next door then. Thank you so much.
Right,
That's
yeah,
really
have a picture
interesting.
of the size of
Yeah,
the
please. Yeah.
So what you do is you go upstairs, you cross over the landing into this one.
Okay.
You come over on this side.
And is that how they would have been built before, so you could access both sides, or no?
We just did it so. Because this
wow.
used to be at the top, right? And when you used to go into it, it was 1940 that side.
Yeah.
Couldn't go upstairs. This side, it was just items made out of cast iron, including a spiral staircase. Nothing upstairs. When they moved it down, they thought, let's find the family who lived here in the 1960s. So they came along, the two boys, there was the mum and dad, Daphne and Bill, and there was the two boys, John and Alan. John and Alan are still alive in their 70s, and they actually come along and help us, advise us. They're still alive.
It's got to be so odd, isn't it, coming into a house that you had sort of brought up in a different location.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, in the 70s and 80s, when people got the new kitchens in, they would actually take this down and put it in their garage, wouldn't they?
Yes,
storage.
yes.
Loads of people have got one of those in their garage.
Yeah, they have.
The eye-level grill as well.
Yeah.
Far better. Cheese on toast, perfect, right? Because you can keep an eye on it. Just as it starts to bubble up and go a bit dark on the edges, you take it off. Nowadays, because it's so low,
you can't see it.
You are taking that too early or burnt it.
Yeah.
Right, so, but that was perfect. Yeah, look, there's the workings. See it?
Okay.
It's all bolted together.
Oh, wow. And the old telly, the old tube. Ferguson TV as well. So.
I'm going to tell you this. When I was a kid, we used to have a box of Bold washing powder on top of our telly.
Go on.
Couldn't get an aerial.
It's absolutely fascinating. This is like doing a viewing, but, you know, literally going back 40, 50 years. Or longer than that, sorry. Like, you know, it's longer than that, isn't it? Is it an up-to-date shed? Or it's an old workshop? I have no idea what any of this is. You've probably got something now that does that job that's about that big now. I don't know what it is, I'm just presuming. But going on the technology and progression. So this building here is going to be the library. So they're reconstructing the library from the Black Country and they're putting it here. And it's taken them years apparently because it's got to be so precise. So we're coming into the town now and I look, radio, piano and television. It's like a proper town. Folks, if you've never been here, you've got to come over. It's such a good day out. If you're into your history and... Right, where should we start? We don't get my name, I just walked straight across the road. So it's like the old radio rentals type of shop. With the gramophones and... Hello? Are you okay if we record this? Yeah. Is that okay? For my
you asking?
For my Facebook. It's just really... I'm having such a good day. I'm learning so much. And I've been living quite local for quite a long time, but just the way that everything's put together and the staff and everything's just so knowledgeable. It's amazing.
Everything behind me and everything in the gondola over there, all one lady's collection.
No.
Apparently this is only half of it. Thousands of them, but 1959, so last year we produce and sell 78s as one of the mainstream forms of music for your singles.
So does she still own them and you rent them or sort
no,
of...
she's donated them to
us. Right.
So,
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a lovely day.
And you. West Bromwich Building Society. That's the old bank. The old typewriter. Progression's just insane, isn't it? I mean, back then, this was probably like, you know, the best typewriter you could buy with your money. If you had one of these, you were probably like up there. It's an old telex machine. Get me a mortgage in the 50s. Couple of old phone boxes. And look how these used to look. Can I have a look in here? Imagine now using that. Now if you show that to your kids, they wouldn't have a clue what to do or where to start. How amazing is that? This is the old co-op. So you don't recognise any of this. It's like, yeah. Do you remember army surplus shops? So all of the old kit and second-hand army uniforms used to go into shops like this. People used to buy them. Look at the size of the chocolate bars compared to what they are now. Look at the size of that Mars bar. Look how chunky that. Can you see it? How thick the Mars bar is.
Oh God! Oh my God!
I know, it's like a brick, isn't it? It's a shame that's closed. Oh wow! You can smell the old uniform. Yeah. Wow. £1. There you go. New issue. Look. £1. I don't know what the fascination of old uniforms, and I know that a lot of people were. It is, isn't it? I mean, you don't know. I don't know. I mean, would you want to wear that? Would you want to put it on? Would you wear it? I don't think one day is enough to go around here. You know.
About 50 ads in the
Hello, hello. So look at all of these old Players cigarettes. My granddad used to smoke those. And Capstan full strength, no tip. Amazing. Well, I say amazing, it's probably not that amazing now, is it? We've moved forward a long time. But I remember back when I was a lot younger, you were the odd one out if you didn't smoke. And these are the old playing cards, George. You used to get these and used to collect them. So like Players, was it Players number 1, was it? I can't remember, yeah. Used to collect them and encourage people to buy more of their product. Wow, that would be like walking into the most modern techno shop that you've got now with all of the technology, looking at all of these thinking, oh, like a kid in the sweet shop. And look how old it looks now. But can you imagine going back into the 50s and seeing all of this new technology? How's the old pub, George? Let's take a trip. Let's take a trip into the Elephant and Castle. So I think this was built and reconstructed here. As far as I'm aware, this was the one. And look at that floor. Oh, eating the fish and chips there. It's actually a working pub.
Is it?
Yeah. The old smoke rooms. I remember smoke rooms. They're not actually that dated. So an old smoke room would be literally where you come and smoke. So you walk into this room and it would be full of smoke. You wouldn't be able to breathe in here at all. Very traditional. It's lovely. It's actually quite a nice pub for today's standards, isn't it?
Exactly.
Right, we're going to sample some fish and chips at the Black Country Museum, cooked in dripping. I don't know if I can stomach it or not. I don't think I've ever had chips cooked in dripping before. Let's go and see what it's like. So this is an old fish and chip shop that's at the Black Country Museum, but it's actually a working fish and chip shop as well. So it is as it was back then, but it's actually selling real fish and chips. And apparently you can pick them up, take them into the pub, and you can meet them in the pub. That's quite nice of them, isn't it? Then we can go over there and have a look at the old village. There's another pub over there. The Bottle Glass Inn. Right, we have got chips cooked in dripping. I don't know how it's going to taste. Have you ever eaten dripping before? Has anyone in the comments ever eaten? Have you eaten dripping? This was how it was cooked back in the day, apparently. I know Grandad Joe's probably going to be watching this, and I know you like a bit of dripping. It's not in newspaper. It would have been in newspaper back then. We can't eat that now because of the print. They're really busy in there, really busy. They look good. They look like old-fashioned chips, like my nan used to cook. Just smell normal like chips. Oh, hot. Right. They're crispy on the outside and soft on the inside. You don't get that with today's chips, especially not oven chips. Look. Can I tell they've been cooked in dripping? I don't really know. It tastes really good. And they're proper chips made from proper potatoes. So, do I like them? Yeah, they're crispy. They're not like chips today. You know when you go to the chippy today and you open them up and it's just a soggy load of mush, which I quite like, but we're used to that now. These aren't like that. These are all crispy around the outside and soft on the inside. So yeah. What is it? Hobbs and Son Fish and Chip Shops. Black Country Museum.
Out of 10?
I don't know what my stomach's going to be like after I've eaten these, because I don't know how, because they are, look, I mean, they are full of grease. Can you see that?
Yeah.
I mean, they are full of fat. So I'm saying out of 10 for health-wise, probably not going to be that good for you. Taste-wise, I have to say a good 8. Right, I've just finished my chips. I didn't eat them all because they were cooked in dripping and it was a huge portion. I've given some to the pigeons down there, look. So he's enjoying them. I've never seen such a fat pigeon, it's no surprise. I don't know what my stomach is going to do to react because I've never eaten chips cooked in dripping, but they were really, really nice. So if you've never tried them, it's worth a go. This place is amazing. I'm guessing you can't get down by the side of the canal for safety reasons. Tommy Shelby, we don't do business with the Chinese, Tommy. Look, this is where we're at. We're at the set of Peaky Blinders. They have filmed so much iconic stuff here for Peaky Blinders and hopefully for the movie that comes out, because that's on its way out as well. I bet you they've been filming down here. Why wouldn't they? But it's all about Peaky Blinders. I'm not sure we can get down that side. I think you can actually. Yeah, you can. Should we have a look? Yeah, let's go. So this is where they filmed loads of stuff for the Peaky Blinders, literally right here on this canal. Tommy Shelby, if you're watching, I'm coming for you. Look at them anvils. Oh yeah. Right, so the other side of the canal. There's a load of old boats over there that are really dishevelled. So this is where a lot of the stuff was filmed, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
On this side. Is this a working pub as well? Looks like it might be. The Bottle and Glass. You can imagine though in here, like back in the 60s or whenever, with someone on the piano, having a proper like.
If you could play,
If you can't play, give us a tune, or kid. If you can play. If you can play, give us a tune, or kid. It's very different, isn't it, than the other pub? It's got slight smoke stains on the walls, and that's amazing, folks. If you are considering coming over to the Black Country Museum, this is not a sponsored video, by the way, I would get yourself down here for less than 50, I think it was 51 quid, wasn't it, something like that, for 2 adults for the whole of the year, and you can come as many times as you want to. It's been an amazing day out. Let me know if you've been, let me know what you think in the comments, and if you like this type of video, then please let me know, and I'll get out and do some more. See you on the next one.